Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe so you can catch the new spills every week. And don't forget to hit that bell up top so you can be part of my notification squad and we can chop it up in the comments below. Alright, so in this video, I want to talk about Deadpool 2099. And this is an established timeline about 80 years into the future from now. And so there's a lot of material about other characters from your 2099 timeline, but Deadpool not so much. And when it comes to your 2099 characters, there's things about it that I like and things that I'm not so crazy about. Because for me as a reader, the more it's connected to the today world, the better I enjoy the story. And don't take me wrong, there are a lot of things about the 2099 landscape that connect to your main continuity and to your 616 universe. But to me, when I pick up something and I kind of decide, well, am I interested in this or not? I come to find out that it has a lot to do of where I can draw a connection between particular characters, whether they're placed in a timeline that's way off in the future or if they're just in another series that runs alongside of whatever series I'm reading. And that's one of the things that I enjoyed quite a bit about this Deadpool 2099 series. Because even though the 2099 Deadpool is a different character, a lot of her story ties back into the Deadpool that we know. And I feel like it's something that's done really good here, but it hasn't been done as well in the past with the 2099 time frame. And granted, they've been doing this since 1992, but still. And at this point, it's 25 years later, and pretty soon, these characters are going to be this year, today. But from what we're shown, the Deadpool of this time, she's holding the Deadpool that we know, Wade Wilson, and she tells him all that she wants is information. Once he tells her what she needs to know, she'll let him go. And the information that she wants to know so bad is the location of her mother, Shiklah. And she's very much the daughter of Wade and Shiklah. And her name is Warda. And her mother, who is immortal, is still alive somewhere, but Wade, his memory really isn't the best, but at times he puts on that his memory isn't as good as it really is. And Wade admits that he remembers Shiklah. And that's about all that Warda gets out of him. She doesn't get a location or anything close to that. But for those of you who aren't familiar with the character Shiklah, her and Wade have a bit of a history, which is pretty clear. And she's not a character who's nearly as old as Deadpool. Her character's about 2 or 3 years old as far as appearing in the comics, but her age predates the dawn of man. In the way that they initially met, Dracula hired Deadpool to bring Shiklah to him so he could marry her and take over the old lands that she'd ruled. And that land, which is older than mankind, is the monsters world. And at a time of war, when her 2 brothers were killed, her father hid her away in a sarcophagus for her safety, and Deadpool ended up saving her like right in the nick of time before the monsters found her and destroyed her sarcophagus. And a few other things took place between then and now, but I think you kind of get the picture. And this is what I was talking about as far as tying characters from this far off distant future into the present day. Because the events that took place between Deadpool and Shiklah, they weigh very heavy on Warda, making her this complex character who likes to torture her dad and make him watch C-SPAN on repeat. But because she's torn between what she feels is her purpose and what we see later as an admiration and a hate at the same time towards her father, plus the whole idea of her trying to figure out where her mother is. It's like a circus of emotions going on in her head at any given time. But skipping over to across town now, Warda has this crew that goes by the alias Bob, of course. And really this crew just follows any order from Deadpool. Like if she ever needs backup, in her earlier issues she was getting away from the cops and she had them kind of create a diversion for her. But they're really not her equal. They're more of a fan club level foot soldier kind of group thing. But that same night, when they're just carrying on business as usual, they get jumped by a mysterious hooded figure and she's looking for Deadpool. And granted, she's beating the mess out of these dudes and it really don't take a whole lot of interrogating before they start giving up all kind of information like where to find her and all kind of stuff. And when they tell her where Deadpool's base of operations is, she's like, this ain't no secret. I want her to know that I'm coming. And the location that they give this mysterious figure is actually an underground base called the Metropolis. And in her subterranean base, the Metropolis, there are a ton of Easter eggs here. But when Deadpool makes her way back to the Metropolis, she gets there to find out some of the creatures that were guarding the door to the vault, they had been turned to stone. And so now something very important here, like none of them were killed, they were just turned to stone. We'll find out a little bit more about this later on, not sure exactly how that's reversible, but it is important to know that they weren't killed by the person who broke in, but rather Deadpool kills one of them just by stomping them into cookie crumbs, telling them that he failed to keep the vault safe. And when she goes in, there's like a ton of relics that Deadpool has saved that she has collected. And I mean as far as Wade's items that she has in her possession. And she checks the room up and down just to make sure that nothing's been taken. And everything's there except for one item. And when we see the mysterious figure who took that item, she's on her way to get Wade, place him on her hover device, and she presets the autopilot here to take him to the safe house. And she's mainly planning ahead because she knows as soon as she breaks Wade out, Deadpool's going to be coming for her and she's going to have to separate from Wade to hold her off. because the whole plan of her breaking into the Metropolis was twofold. Yes, she did need to grab a device from there, but she also wanted Deadpool to think that she wanted to meet her there. So when Deadpool arrived at the Metropolis, she'd be looking for a fight. But by that time, our mystery woman would have already gotten Wade and sent him on his way using the autopilot from the hovercraft. But a security drone catches everything and tips off Deadpool. But an important thing to pick up right here is when Deadpool goes after her, this is extremely urgent to her, because the reason why she locks away everything that she can find that belongs to Wade is because she believes that everything in this room is some type of clue or connection to her finding her mother. Because like I mentioned before, old man Wade is kind of in and out. He says he does remember this, he doesn't remember that, and on top of that, his mind is a little cuckoo anyway, which doesn't help. But Water doesn't want to let go of any ounce of hope that she has in finding her mother, and that's why by any means, she'll do whatever it takes to protect those items in that vault. And we start to see as time moves on and her patience wears thin that she cares less for that being at the expense of Wade. Because she's tried everything that she could to get the answer out of Wade. And she's come up with nothing. So she's really come to that point like, you're useless to me because you're not giving me these answers. You're literally wasting my time. I'll do the investigation myself and figure it out somehow. But it's at this point where Deadpool is caught up with the two of them, where this mystery woman, she activates the autopilot and places the item that she took with some type of orb device holding the consciousness of Emily Preston. So now Emily Preston, she's a longtime friend of Wade's. She's a former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent that was killed in one of the zombie attacks, and the necromancer saved her life by placing her consciousness inside of Wade's head. But Wade, who had enough voices in his head, eventually got her transferred over to a life model decoy, which is like your current day situation, and then sometime between now and 2099, she got transferred into the small object that the mysterious woman had taken. But now that she has Deadpool separated from Wade and Wade on his way to her safe house, she takes on Deadpool one-on-one, also while fighting off her Bob crew, and she does this still without killing anybody. And they go at it for a minute in this book. It's like a couple pages straight. But it also gets to the point where they have like this Captain America Winter Soldier moment where this woman impressively kicks her way out of a headlock from Deadpool, but Water's holding the mask when she does, only to find out that her true identity is Ellie, Wade Wilson's other daughter. And we talk about a bit of her history in another video with Deadpool versus Black Panther, so I won't go too deep into it for this one. But this reveal right here is exactly what I'm talking about when they take more stuff and they tie it in and make it more cohesive. Because prior to this issue, Wade thought that Ellie was dead. And that ties into his poor memory as well too, because he says that he remembers her dying. But even still, he's aware that his memories are kind of questionable, so he still considers the fact that she may be alive. But this location that Ellie sent him to that she had saved in the hoverboard as a safe house, it was actually one of Wade's old safe houses where he kept extra ammunition and gear. Not to mention it's the old location of Parker Industries and one of the old bases of the Unity Squad, which is one of many teams that Deadpool was affiliated with back in the day. And it's a funny coincidence that Deadpool 2099 refers to them as a bunch of jerks, because when Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe again, they were like the first people that he took out. So like even when he's brainwashed, he still has his priorities in check. But after going to his old base, this hover scooter board thing has other destinations that it's taking him to. And it takes him to a spot that used to be a McDonald's, but in 2099, McDonald's doesn't exist anymore. But that's besides the point. It's really a place for Ellie to meet Wade away from Water. And this is his first time seeing her in years. She is much older now than he remembers. She has all kind of battle scars all over her body and her face, and not just from fighting Water, but just that she's accumulated over the years. And Wade can't remember quite clearly, so he asks her if she got his regeneration, why she has the scars and everything. And her response is simply, Water got all that. But we also find out that Water has given Ellie and Wade an ultimatum. And because she can't get any answers out of Wade directly, she threatens to take the lives of a group of people at Madison Square Garden, which we know today is Madison Square Garden, but still. And so she gets her team, the Bob crew, to bring out their secret weapon to take out these people, where with Wade and Ellie get the help of Iron Fist to hold it off in the meantime. But with all this madness going on, Wade tries to end it. And Ellie agrees, she calls for a truce. But Water, she can care less about all that. And she stabs Ellie in the chest. And right here is where we see how dark she really is. Like, Kylo Ren would be proud. And to Water, in her mind, Ellie's already dead. Or at least she has been dead for some time. So she shoves liquid napalm in her back, blows her up, and doesn't even think twice about it. Just terrible. And like on top of that, she makes Deadpool watch. Because in her twisted mind, she wants him to feel the pain that she has felt. And after taking him back to Metropolis, she asked him, like, would you feel this way if it was me? Like, would you cry these tears if I had died and not her? And Deadpool's like, well, you're not easy to like, but yeah. And on top of that, he's like, oh yeah, I just remembered something too. Ellie's a mutant, and her regeneration works differently. So instead of healing from cuts, scrapes, and wounds like Wade or Warda, at the point of death, her body completely reboots to a younger version of herself. And it allows her to start all over again with the memories, the training, all the experience she's gained over the years wrapped into a younger body. And immediately she goes back after Warda. But before they can really even engage into a fight, Wade goes to break it up. And Emily's like, hey, look, y'all just need to stop. Well, they refer to her as Preston. But Preston's like, hey, look, y'all need to dial this back a couple notches. And there's got to be some other way we can come to a resolve here. But after finally getting Warda to calm down, Wade explains to her the importance of why she got put away. And Warda's like, well, okay, if I do believe you and my mother is that dangerous, well, what are you going to do with me? You going to do the same thing with me? Just lock me up and throw away the key? But Wade doesn't take the same approach with her because she's his daughter. Shiklah, on one hand, who's thousands of years old, she's set in her ways. And the difference between her and Warda's a lot younger. She's just damaged, but her broken mind can be salvaged. And that's when Wade takes the device that Emily's consciousness is in and allows her to enter the mind of Warda. And her head is all messed up, man. But it's inside here that you can see that her parents are everything that's on her mind. And her mixed feelings of hatred for her father, her earliest memories of her mother. But Emily's like, hey, this is where I step in and we're going to clean all this up. And she lets us know that people care about her and she doesn't have to be that way. But something real important also happens here while her mind's getting cleaned up. Because her sister Ellie grabs Deadpool's old mask and says there's only one Deadpool. And Warda, with her mind being in a whole nother place, she's like, hey, that doesn't even matter to me now. Keep it. And Wade would rather them all just be one happy Deadpool family, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's huge that we see here the opportunity of Deadpool sharing this mantle with both of his daughters. But another thing I want to point out is that even though they've come to some sort of resolve with Warda, and now that she's come to a place of where she's like, okay, well, I'm not going to try and kill everybody to find out where my mother is. Wade still doesn't tell her at this point because it'll virtually undo everything that's just been done. And not on top of that, he doesn't want to take the risk of freeing Shiklah and have her return to be a threat once again. But Wade shortly after catches up with Ellie. They go get a bite to eat because they got a whole lot to catch up on. Ellie's an octogenarian who just happens to look like a teenager. But she's definitely ready to sit down with Wade and ask him that boiling question that everybody's been dying to know. And that question is, what happened to Shiklah? And that's the $1 million question. And it's like, did you kill her? And if you did, why'd you kill her? Because you wouldn't kill her at first. When you first met her, she was about to be killed and you could have just let her die. And Wade admits to Ellie that he could never kill Shiklah. Like, she means that much to him. So instead, a long time ago, when he got Ant-Man's help to defeat that secret weapon that Warda was using, he had Ant-Man use PIM particle technology to shrink Shiklah's coffin so he can bury it in his chest, keeping her hidden from anyone who would try to destroy her, where she can rest safe until it's the right time for her to be released. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Warda's done trying to find her mother? Like, for real, for real? And do you guys really think they can be like one big happy family? And aside from that, when's Shiklah gonna get out? But anyway, hit me with that in the comments below. And all my contest winners, I already reached out to you. Hit me back and make sure you give me your shipping address so I can send you all your prizes. I got new videos up as well. Links up here if you want to check out more Deadpool. Oh, and I got more James Hudson coming on the way. And that video will be in addition to our Son of Wolverine playlist. Don't forget to hit that like button for your boy, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.